you need to set the communicative standards early in your relationship, because that is the only way to realistically go long term. I can't do this whole, like for me, especially right now, I can't do this whole figuring out how to talk to you when we've been having sex for 24 months. Like, I can't do this because I'm already too invested, right? Like, I really don't care. But if I already know from the very beginning, then I think that works. And again, like, I think something that you said that we also got to realize, Amanda said, because if you say this to me, I know I'm going to react this way. I think it's important to understand that just because of how you take things is not the way your partner's going to take them. And that means you can't treat them the same as you.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why you need to ask questions.
And it's hard to do that.
It is. It really comes with the level of just like maturity and experience, and either or. But once you get to that point, it's like, I know I'm going to put the same thing in the same spot every time. I don't understand why you have it in a different spot every time. And we both use this. Right? So so
wait, whose system is it? That's the difference.
Hey.
I'm saying, no, it really,
speak on it.
It really is the difference. And I found in therapy, and it's funny because I actually brought this up. One day, the sweetener, which is my sweetener because I'm type 1, was moved. So I go in there, it's not where it always is. And I start looking around, I'm like, damn, who moved my shit? You know
who?
No, I know. I thought maybe the container broke and it just don't exist no more. That's literally what I thought, because
you were assuming the positive.
Yeah, I guess. And so, and then I texted him. I was like, hey, I said, what a sweetener? He was like, oh, in the pantry. I was like, no, it's not. I'm looking right here. He said, just look around. It's there. Of course, I look around and it is there. But I'm in my mind, I'm just like, I take care of everything in the house. Yep. If I put up the dishes a certain way, that means you should follow suit. If I fold the clothes a certain way, that means you should follow suit. Because I don't go in the bill pay and start messing up your shit. I don't start putting in my own password. I don't start, telling them to change the monthly payment. You think it's a regular payment and I didn't change it to balance billing and didn't tell you. You know what I mean? And now you confused. So it's like if someone is responsible for something and it's their system, you need to follow their system. Don't come in my shit trying to do something different. Yeah. I understand you may try to help, but if you create more work for me, now we have a problem.
It's not helpful.
Don't create more work for me because now it's 2 things I got to do. You know what I mean? Because yeah, you folded the towels, but does it go with the other 45 towels that's in here that now the shit don't even fit now? Because you folded it differently? The thing is that you put it in there.
She's really
you put it in there and you saw that those 5 towels.
She's been triggered a little bit.
Did not match. No, because I'm very the thing is that because I control everything in the house. Like it's my system. So why do you go outside and do anything else? Right. And that's the thing. That's how the therapist framed it. And he was like, well, I guess that makes sense. If you're over such and such, like your system should be your system.
Yeah.
And I was like, exactly. I didn't conceptualize it like that. It's my system. It's just like that's the way it is. Why wouldn't you just already do it that way?
Yeah.
Like why would you put the washing powder in the bag with the cheese?
I feel like it should be ran like a business, right? Like a business has SOPs, standard operating procedures. So if everybody gets literally a copy in some way of your standard operating procedures, we know when I'm helping you out, this is the way it can be, right? Like, so have that checklist, have that conversation about like, this is the way it's supposed to be. And it may seem controlling in some way.
I'm not
and
strict.
It'll be helpful in the long run.
I'm not strict, but the thing is that I don't go around messing up somebody else's system. Like if you back your car in every single day and for whatever reason I have to drive your car,
I'm going to back it in.
I'm going to back it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would I not back it in?
And in my mind, and this is why I have to, sometimes I had to step outside of myself because the way I compute that is the lack of awareness and inconsideration.
So fuck you. Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I take it. I'm like, yo, so you really just don't care. Because you've seen me do this every day, especially if I've been with you for X amount of time. And I was actually with you when I backed my car in every day, right? And you decide to park it the opposite way. You just don't care about
No, I don't think it's a I don't care. And I definitely don't see it as a FU.
That's what it comes off as.
I know, but like I don't even see it that way. Now, if I communicate to you.
Yes.
And then you do it again.
And then you do it again. That's when it's see, I like I'm a person, I never assume anybody can read my thoughts.
Right.
And I'm a big believer in that. I'm very communicative. I'm very verbal. I don't want people, there's nothing left unsaid between us.
Right.
So I say what I feel. So if you do something that I don't like, or if I do something every day and I'd be like, oh, can you do this for me? And you do it for me one day, I will come to you and say, hey, listen, I like the car backed up this way because in the morning when I leave, it makes everything easier for me. Maybe there's like more traffic in the morning. So next time, if I give it to you, could you make sure you do it that way? Now, next time, nope, I'm very, because like, I don't like problems. I'm an avoidant of, like, I don't like problems. So if next time
it happens again,
then it's a problem. And I like to avoid problems.
Right.
I don't think that, but me and Aaron are,
that's what I was
saying. Me and Aaron are talking about a one-off situation. We're talking about the redundancy of it. Or, you know,
but did you communicate?
Of course, but you know what?
So I think it's important to communicate, yes, why you need it in a particular way because it makes life easier for me, X, Y, and Z. Also communicating, so this is how it makes me feel when you don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you just don't give a fuck about me. You shitting on me if, you know, you don't do it in this way. So adding those two together can be more impactful.
Because then if it don't happen, I got to go and change your password.
But you know,
that's what I'm saying. Now, if it happens again and I clearly communicated everything to you, then it's problematic.
But I found a solution for all this, guys. And it's finally, I sat down and I had to really think. You know what I really...
Okay.
Because...
No, I really need to know.
Yeah.
I realized that everybody works off of a consequence and an incentive reward based thing.
Yeah.
So the problem is, and I'm just speaking from my household, if I want the cups in a certain way and it's not in that way, I'm quick to have a conversation about it. But I don't say thank you or, you know, incentivize or show some or demonstrate some type of reward for when it is that way to create the new behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So now when things are being done the way I want it to be done, I'd be like, thank you. I really appreciate that you did that.
I see you.
Yeah. So then they're like, all right, cool. Let me continue to do this. Because I realized it'd be too much inconsistency in my own house. Like you do this one day, then you don't do it. And it's because you don't make the conscious effort. Really because I'm not prioritizing, you know, your reward, whether it be a compliment or something else, a grand gesture. Yeah, to keep them doing it and create the new habit.
If that was said to me, like, thank you so much for doing it, I would be like, okay, my man likes it this way. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I talk a lot of shit on here, but like, no, I do. I really do talk a lot of shit on here, but like the thing is, I don't ever want to be considered as a person who is ungrateful.
Yeah.
Like if you give me a gift, I'm going to call, I'm going to text. If you go out of your way, like the other day, like, you know, the weather is getting better here. So my husband knew that I wanted to take my bike out and it's a road bike. So it needs to have a tune up for the new season or whatever. And he was like, hey, you want your bike tuned up? I was like, yeah, thanks. He took it to the guy. He tuned it up and brought it back. He said, hey, your bike's in the basement. I was like, oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, like, I like, thank you. Even if it's a thanks, THX, like, thank you just it goes.
Text me that.
What, THX?
THX.
Is that,
That's
is that
like
bad?
HBD.
Yeah, like-
Don't even say it.
Is that bad?
Oh, that's bad because I'm like.
Imagine if you said I love you and I text back ILY2. The number 2.
That's not a good thing.
No,
And they already have autocorrect, so it pops up. So you could just hit the button.
I had no, see?
no, yeah,
No, it's not.
Thanks.
No, it's not. I'm very quick with the.
It's lazy. Don't be lazy on my thank you.
It depends. If it's my mom, I'm like, she don't know no better. So like, fine.
She
Well,
texts back
I
that
don't
way.
know any better. I use THX all the
I
time.
use TY all the time.
Friends, family, if you get a TY from me, it's not
Droid.
bullshit. Or THX is not
Sorry to
bullshit.
type.
So pretty much Alan wants to come to one of the sex events. That's what he just did. No,
He
I'm
wants to
joking.
learn and train and practice
Kink,
BDSM.
kink.
Yeah.
As messed up as the sound, sometimes you can't be with somebody who's not trainable.
I think that I'm
I
sorry.
think that's a great point.
No, it is. You
Somebody just repeat that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because nobody
wait.
hear
Can
that.
you say it actually in your science?
She doesn't align with it.
Oh yeah. If you agree,
You know, there is this mentality that you should only be with someone who is trainable. I wouldn't necessarily say that they need to be trainable. Like, I don't like those words, but I would say they need to be open to considering your needs, open to considering your desires and what that would look like for your relationship.
It sounds
Open.
good. It sounds
No.
good.
But here's the thing: we leave too much room. Open means considering. It does not mean implementing. So if I'm open, I'm just considering, but I'm not implementing.
but I ain't really fucking with it.
Yeah, trainable means I am doing. Like I am trained. Like, okay, hey, listen. But here's the thing: realistically, let me ask you a question. If I was to come to a session of yours, and you were to give me advice,
Mm-hmm.
I more likely than not will have success if I implemented your advice,
Mm-hmm.
which means I need to be trainable and receptive on who's giving me certain, I guess, advice and or guidance.
Yes, you need to be receptive to it.
Trainable.
No, I just think that the word trainable
That word
probably has
is
a,
just
a
like, yeah,
negative
it's not good
connotation.
for me.
It's not ugly word
Not
because
good, right?
But guys, there are. Let's just
Or
agree that there
I
are
would
better
prefer
words.
conditioning, right?
Yes.
So, talking about,
Conditioning is not trainable.
reinforcements,
Yes.
punishments, things like that, that is conditioning, right? And so
that's worse than
allowing
training.
No, adaptable, flexible,
flexible,
dynamic,
conditioning,
Flexible is not tra-
receptive.
No.
I like those words because they have an element of humanness to it. I feel like when people say you're
Exactly.
training someone, you're
An
seeing them
animal?
as an animal.
What do you call somebody who works out or works people out? A
fitness
physical
instructor.
trainer.
Fitness
Okay.
instructor.
A physical trainer. I never see physical instructor in bios. Okay. I see physical trainers. Like, we have to understand that our feelings on certain words, we got to strip them. Right. I understand we don't like the word
Make
trainable,
sure we get this on camera.
but we don't like the word trainable or training of because it does seem inhumane to some. But it's the reality. If you're not trainable, if you're not coachable, right, you cannot pick up certain habits that will actually be the blueprint for your success.
So you said coachable. I agree with coachable.
But
You can
coachable
be
is trainable.
coachable.
You know what? I didn't listen to my coach when he was saying, like, it's the same thing. You need to be in this spot.
But she's
Discipline.
just saying, like, as a clinician, like, that's just not a good word.
Yeah, I think we're getting caught
Because
up
particularly a man says, "Oh, you need to
Particularly a man, huh?
particularly a man."
I don't like those words.
In my clinical experience, when I'm telling a man he needs to be trainable, he's going to get defensive automatically. And so words matter. So you have to use words that are going to allow the person to hear it a little bit better so that they can act on it.
Yeah.
Training.
Orientation.
This is facts.
Training.
It is called orientation.
And they call it orientations now. A lot of people don't
Yes,
call it
is called
trainings anymore.
But it's the same thing. Tomato, right? Like training, orientation, coachable, trainable.
But you have to listen to what she's saying. She's saying if you're in a impasse with your partner, right, and you say, "Man, I just need you to be trainable." No,
No,
if
you
wouldn't.
Well, I wouldn't
A
say
lot
with
of
that.
people who would get defensive.
see, and
about
that's
that.
what I'm
I
saying.
wouldn't say with that. I'd be like, hey, listen, babe, I need you to be more trainable. I'm gonna be more trainable. You're gonna be more trainable. We're gonna train each other
no.
with another girl.
Like I just don't see a man or a woman.
You saw that? You saw what I did there?
I just don't see a man or a woman being receptive to that word because I can see a woman being like, "Who the fuck you talking
It's
to?"
offensive.
And a man being like, "Am I a dog? Like, why are you
Yeah.
even like using that language
Heard it
with
both
me?"
ways.
I mean,
both ways.
again, and this is why, like, I think that my age is the perfect premier age because I get both sides of the fence. If you were I played sports, so I can only think of it from a sport aspect, which is why I don't take it as so much
You're not offended.
emotion.
I play sports too,
Okay,
and
so-
I still don't take like I don't like the word.
But you probably heard it before, right? When I heard it when I was a freshman, sophomore in college, it didn't bother me. He's like, "Yo, are you coachable?"
Rico, because that is in sport. We're talking about in relationships.
If you use that word in a relationship, it has a different connotation.
Right.
But it shouldn't, because it's the same word with the same
Right,
principality.
and I should have
Why
40
you
acres
caught
and a
up?
mule.
Well, why get caught up?
No. My thing is, I don't even want to get caught up. I'm
Right.
just
Yeah, so yeah,
what
let's.
I'm just saying is we have
there's
to
a different
we
way
just
you
have
can
to understand.
But look at the reverse, Rico. The funny thing about the reverse is if you say this to someone, let's say one of Aaron's girlfriend called, what happened? That dude wasn't trainable. He was untrainable. You understand that?
That's too.
Untrainable is more understanding, right?
Nobody
You're
even
not,
says this.
guys. Where she? The point that the point that she's making
might
is
have said
it's
that.
using that with the actual person with whom you have the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. Like you can't be like, yo, you ain't trainable. Like I'm like, all right, I ain't. Fuck out of my face, you know. Like, but you can't use those words because you want them to be receptive to what you were saying, and you don't use words with combative or negative connotations
Right.
in order to have someone buy in to whatever it is you're selling. Like it's just like, why would you create a barrier to what it is you're trying to accomplish?
I think we should normalize this. I think the first thing you should do, men and women, when you're gonna get into a relationship, you ask, are you trainable?
Oh.
Are you trainable? If you are not, especially if you're in your later on years in life, because when you're, 22, you're way more flexible because you're still finding yourself and you're finding your groove. If you are 35 and older and you're cemented in your ways, primarily, like, not primarily, but majority of your ways, you need to be like, are you trainable? I need you to be able to adapt and mold into the things that I like. These are my list of things that I like.
Yeah.
What are your lists? And if I'm not trainable or willing to be trained by your list, then we should not even waste the time.
You see how you interchanged adaptable,
Yep.
coachable,
There you go.
flexible,
There you
all
go.
of those words in that
I
full
added
statement,
them,
right?
I added them
so that
you
makes it easier. You don't even need to take. You could take the
But
training
if you,
out.
because no, the thing is this,
Rico just
it's
want
so
to battle.
funny. It's so funny
So
because
belligerent.
no, it's funny because Amanda is like iffy with directness. She pick and choose when she wants the direct part, right?
Why?
But that's
No, but hold on, wait, because what I'm trying to say is, if I was to say one word, but I gave you another 3 words so you understand how to receive the word without all of the definition, the context of the other words, because adaptable is super subjective, right? Adaptable could be like, yeah, I can adapt to some things, but there's some things that you can't adapt to, right? But if I say trainable, you already understand in full the good and the bad. Adaptable, I'm kind of dismissing anything that could be potentially be bad that I'm not really here for. And I think that's what we've got accustomed to, is only presenting the good or presenting the bad in such a good way so that we're not even prepared for the bad part when it does come. And it will come. So I need to tell you, hey, listen, well, I'm not in that position right now, but are you trainable? It sounds like something that we should really take into consideration.
Man, come on. It's literally if someone had
I need you to get up at 5 o'clock,
the
make my
unmitigated
breakfast.
gall
I need
to say that to me, I'm just gonna be like, you don't know how to read a room.
Mm.
You do know you don't know, you don't understand social cues. You don't know what how to read a room. You don't know what a connotation and a denotation is, because you literally told me like that you want me to be trainable like an animal or like something that's in a non-human form.
Especially what comes after. You're like,
Yeah, but I want to be trained too.
That's you. You may be okay with that.
exactly, but it's what he's saying after. Like, I need you to be able to wake up, make my breakfast, do this.
That was
do
a joke.
No, he was
first of all.
joking.
He was joking with that, but before, what he
She was
said
quick to
now,
remember something,
but
right?
before, what
He
did
said
say
flexible,
before?
adaptable.
Okay, but for his needs.
Oh wait.
So, yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
He was like, I need you to be trainable to.
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Okay.
do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
At
it's
the
just
end, yeah.
like, if you present that to anybody, who is going to take that in a positive way?
Right.
A lot of people. Someone who's serious.
5 in the morning and do this and that. She said, "Okay, can I train you. Like, what do you need? Well, for me to make your breakfast, I need you to do this and do this. And be like, yeah, I can train to do that.
First of all,
Can we get the clinician's
anybody- First
perspective?
of all, that was a joke. So let's not run with it. Because if anyone ever even said, I need you to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and
It's
make
crazy.
my breakfast, I'm going to say, who are you talking to?
But you know what's crazy to me?
I don't even need you to say, like, are you trainable? Like, that sentence is enough because, like, what are you expecting of this relationship right now? Are you expecting me to serve you? Or are we going into a partnership?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, a partnership, usually a healthy one, you're serving each other, right? In some way, aspect, or form.
True.
I think that we've gotten to la la land and subjectiveness when we get into relationships. But the reality is, if I go to school and they say, okay, you want to be a lawyer? These are all the things you must complete. And these are the times you must be there. These are the due dates of every assignment. If I go to a job before I get hired, you need to be at work at 8 a.m. You get off at 9 p.m. Your lunch is at 1 p.m. We are already so used to structure on our day-to-day life and everything else. The fact that we now bring in structure in the initial aspect of dating, it becomes inhumane. But it's realistically, no, we are operating on a structural basis your entire life, and you need to be including it in every aspect and form. And then that way you might have more success because you can either say, just like when you go to college or when you go to your job, you can either say, I'm going to take this job, I'm going to take this opportunity, or I'm going to leave it. I know what it entails. I know what I don't like about this. I know what I do like. I know what I can live with. And no one is doing that, which is why the dating pool is filled with piss now and everybody's upset.
But because, hold on, because, wait.
50% success rate in dating.
No.
50%.
But
Wait,
okay,
that's
things
crazy.
are not very clear though. See, that's the thing. If you're saying like you're going to law school, like you said, it's very clear your expectation.
It's the path.
It's outlined for you. This is what we expect from you so that you can succeed in this program. In relationships, it's never that clear. People don't know how to communicate with each other.
So many
People don't
factors.
know. There are factors. There's variables. There's communication styles. So people are walking around, whether they're passive aggressive, whether they expect you to read their minds. People don't communicate clearly. Like, hey, in this relationship, this is what I expect, right? This is what I expect. Now let's figure out, are we supposed to be? It's never that way.
That's the problem.